Hey everyone. So one of the most common questions I get is, what program should I use? Or what's the best program for the XP Deus? Well, today I'm here to give you the answer. And it's a program that I've come up with after years of trial and error and playing around. I call it Magnum. It's a great name for other reasons, and I really like it. And I'm going to take you step by step on how to set that up so that you can go out and use it and find some great things. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I use so-and-so's program and that's the best, or I've got my own program and that's the best. Maybe, but I ask you, try mine out, see what you think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. But I've set this up because I primarily dig very junky colonial home sites. Iron everywhere, it sounds like a machine gun sometimes, and it's quiet in areas. I also like to detect on quiet farm fields. So how can that program be used on a farm field as well, since the conditions are so different? Well, I'm going to tell you all about that. And I will say about my program is I've tested it against stock fast programs and stock deep programs, other people out there who've got their own deep programs or fast programs and this program and that program, and it competes well. I've never seen a difference in depth. I pick up things that sound a little bit more crisp than other programs, but again, that's me and that's what I listen for. Also, I want to point out that what I'm going to use is full tones. That's my preference. I feel like it's a conversation with the metal detector. It's telling me every little bleep, bloop, everything that's telling me, and it's a language and I understand it. Some of you may prefer 3 tones or even 2 tones. Either dig it or just don't dig it. That's all I want to know. To me, that's not telling me a story, because again, my preference is different. To me, a 2-tone is like a little chihuahua, bark, 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 and then a bigger dog. I want to hear everything. But if you're the kind of person that just wants to say, hey, should I dig it? Should I not dig it? That's fine. That's your preference, and you can modify it as such. Okay, so here's the question. How do you set up the best all-around program for your XP Deus? I'm going to take you through that right now. All right, so this is how we're going to go in and set up the program. Again, you're going to start on Deus Fast. That's the base program for my customizations, and you're going to see how easy this is, and I'll show you details each setting, how I modify it or mostly don't modify it. So if I go into menu, first thing I see is discrimination. Default is 6.1. I am going to drop that down to 0. I like to hear everything. I don't want anything discriminated. Now, if I'm on a quiet farm field and I'm looking for a hotspot, I will drop that down to a negative discrimination. You can see how it goes lower here. But for the most part, 90% of the time, I am at 0 here. As far as expert, its default is 3 tones. I'm going to change that to full tones because that's what I like. This is your preference. You decide what you like and if you want to change tone breaks and things like that. Sensitivity, I keep that at 90. I might change it based on conditions if there's some EMI going on and things like that. But for the most part, I'm running at 90. Frequency, I'm always at 14.4 or 28.8. I don't really err from either one of those. Those are the best all-around frequencies for what I do. Sometimes I'll experiment with a lower frequency, trying to get a little bit deeper and swing a little bit slower. But again, 14, 28, that's my go-to. Again, I'll frequency shift if I'm getting EMI or interference from another detector, but that so rarely happens. Iron volume, now you don't have to touch that. It doesn't really matter in full tones. It's a setting that you don't have to worry about. Reactivity, I'll keep that at 3, but again, I'll bump that up to 5 if I'm on a really noisy site, or I'll drop it down to 2.5 or 2 if I am at a quiet farm field. Audio response, I drop that down to 3. That's what I like to do. It helps me understand if something's deep or small, or if something's shallow or big. Again, if I'm on a quiet farm field, I might bump that up to 5 to get that sound coming through a little bit more. Overload, I just keep that at 1. Don't need to worry about that. Notch, I always keep that at 0, so you can go in and see I don't have any customizations there. Just keep it at 0, which is really nice. And then that's really it. That's it. And that's how you set it up. So if you go and then you would just go into programs and save it, I've already done that. And I've got it here saved as the Magnum program. I've changed the screen to an XY screen, but I do play around. I go back and forth with that. So put those settings in, and really, I would love to know what you think. And I know what you're thinking. Grant, I detect home sites like you. Reactivity 3? Really? Honestly, I'll bump that sucker up to 5. What I like about this program is it's very easy to modify based on the conditions I'm on. So if I want to run 5, nothing hides from reactivity 5, I'll tell you that much. I'll just pop it on there and I'll adjust my frequencies. If it's 14 or 28, I usually don't err differently around those. Okay, so let's say you're out in a quiet farm field. What do you do? Well, that's pretty easy. You can lower the reactivity to 2.5 or 2. You can up the audio response to 5 or 6 because you just want to hear, boom, you want to hear that target go off. Where if you're doing that in the junk, you probably don't want everything super loud and you want to understand the depth. But out in a farm field, why not raise that up? And that's basically it. So it's this program. It's pretty versatile. Most things I ever change are reactivity, audio volume, which is audio response, and that's it. I'll check the ground balance if I need to. I will, change frequencies if I need to. But for me, this is a really good all-around program. Now, that is to say, I call this the best all-around program for me. It may not be for you, and I understand that, and that's the beauty of the XP Deus. You can set up your own best of program out there that is perfect for you, and you don't have to worry about other people's settings. So I know it's a little kind of a bait and switch when I say it's the ultimate all-around program, but for me, it really is. And I think if you were to try it, I think you might agree that it's pretty darn good and really easy to set up and easy to modify. If you've got your own programs that you think are the best, post them below in the comments. I'd love to see it. I'm always out for trying new things. That's how you learn. That's how you experience things. And with the Deus, it opens up properties to search all over again from one setting, from one frequency, from one coil to the next. You can really hit those things over and over again. And that's it. Again, comment below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Also, check out XP Team USA's YouTube channel. Join us on Facebook. Check out all of Gary Blackwell's videos on his Skill School and XP Metal Detector's YouTube. There's so much resources out there for you. Go out there, charge up, be prepared, have a good time.